Dawn breaks inside a wooden Viking longhouse, while the frozen breath of Scandinavia scours the mountains beyond. In this world, there is no electricity, no hospitals, no grocery stores. There is only survival. Strength means life. Weakness means death. This is the Viking Age. The year rests around 900 AD. Across the cold reaches of Scandinavia, in the lands now known as Norway, Sweden, and Denmark, small communities cling to rocky coastlines and deep fjords. Winters are long and brutal. Food is never guaranteed. The sea is both the greatest opportunity and the greatest danger. Popular stories often paint a single picture. Yet the truth reveals farmers alongside warriors, explorers beside traders, and families who work without rest. In these villages, everyone must contribute. Survival demands constant effort. A newcomer must earn a place, because a society built on endurance cannot carry those who refuse to bear the load. Within the heart of each settlement stands the longhouse. It is a vast wooden structure that shelters people, animals, and the supplies that keep them alive. A fire burns without cease at the center. Smoke slides upward through openings carved in the roof. By night, dozens sleep side by side on sturdy benches covered in animal furs. Privacy does not exist. Warmth does, and warmth is survival. This is a world measured by food. The fight for every meal begins with the short summer. Fields must be sown and harvested before the cold returns. Barley and oats take root in hard soil. Villagers coax vegetables from narrow plots. Men push out to sea in longships to catch fish that can feed many mouths. Others track elk, deer, and wild boar through the forests. Every effort faces risk. If a harvest fails, if a storm tears apart fishing boats, hunger follows. Entire villages can starve. Winter is the true enemy. Snow drapes the land for months and locks the earth. Livestock must be carefully rationed. Each strip of dried meat matters. Each sack of grain marks the line between endurance and tragedy. Farming alone is not enough. The culture honors strength, bravery, and the fierce discipline of battle. Raiding expeditions range across Europe to bring back silver, food, and slaves that can sustain communities through lean seasons. Young men train early with axe, swords, and shields. Their hands learn the weight of iron. Their eyes learn the rhythm of defense and attack. When sails race, crews face the great gamble of the North Sea. Storms can break a ship without mercy. Enemy armies wait behind stone and earth. Survival belongs to courage and skill. It belongs to those who can hold a line, guard a shield wall, and return home with enough to feed their village through the winter to come. The sea shapes every decision. It is the highway of the Viking world. Legendary longships carry them farther than almost anyone else of their time. These narrow vessels skim across waves, light enough to beach, strong enough to ride heavy swells. They travel to England and France. They follow rivers into what is now Russia. They reach even North America. Yet the ocean is unforgiving. A single storm can swallow an entire crew. Cold water means death within minutes. Every voyage is a wager placed against nature itself. Still, they sail. They sail because the rewards can be enormous. A fortunate crossing can transform a village. A fruitful raid can fill stores and secure the next season of survival. Inside the longhouse, daily life becomes a study in resilience. Disease spreads easily where smoke hangs and bodies press close. Injuries suffered in fields, forests, or battle can turn fatal in a world without modern care. Life expectancy is short. Many never live past their 40s. Each day requires strength. Each problem demands resourcefulness. Every person faces danger with eyes open. The rhythms of their year reveal the hard truth. Summer grants a narrow window to plant, harvest, fish, and hunt. Autumn brings the rush to store food and mend what was broken. Winter presses heavy on hearts and hands. Choices become sharper. Waste is a luxury no one can afford. Comfort exists for the few, and even then, it is fragile. This is not a legend polished by song. It is a reality built from work and risk. A community endures by assigning every member a task. Children learn early. Elders guide with memory. Warriors defend and venture. Farmers sow and reap. Fishers follow currents and tides. Hunters track quietly through snow and pine. The longhouse gathers them at day's end, with fire at the center, and the shared hope of another dawn. Even the most famous episodes of Viking life sit upon this foundation. Strength has meaning because weakness brings loss. Honor in battle matters because survival may depend on courage. The sea tempts with reach and riches because land cannot always feed the many. The distances they cross rise out of necessity as much as ambition. The greatest discovery is simple. The Viking Age is not only about raids and swords. It is about communities who fight for each season, who weigh every decision against the cold breath of winter. It is about the balance between labor and war, between land and water, between hunger and plenty. When the year turns, the stakes remain the same. Snow blankets roof and field. The fire near the center burns day and night. Those who share the longhouse sleep with furs pulled tight and listen for the wind that scrapes across the mountains. Grain is counted, meat is rationed, boats await their next purpose. Tools are repaired, stories are told to remind the young why strength and honor guide their steps. Survival here is not glamorous, it is unyielding. It is earned with calloused hands and careful minds. Disease can move through crowded rooms swiftly. A single misstep in forest or field can seal a fate. The bodies that return from the sea return with knowledge of risk and reward, and with the understanding that fortune does not favor the careless. Through it all, the Viking world endures. It sails far because the sea is a road open to those brave enough to take it. It farms and fishes because the land yields only to persistent effort. It hunts because wild game can spare a village in hard months. It fights because sometimes the difference between life and death is found beyond the horizon. The fire dims and rises again. The rhythm holds steady. Families gather close. Tools and weapons rest within easy reach. Children learn early that comfort is rare and that work is constant. Elders pass on the lessons that keep the community alive. Together they move through seasons in a world that respects only strength, skill, and resolve. This is the truth behind the stories. The Viking Age begins not with spectacle, but with the courage to face danger every day, to endure cold and hunger, to accept risk upon land and sea, to bind a community inside the heavy timbers of a longhouse, and to stake everything on the narrow windows of harvest and voyage. History will not grow kinder. As centuries turn, new threats rise. Deadlier diseases spread, wars grow more brutal. Civilizations face collapse. The test of survival changes form, but not weight. In the next episode, the journey descends into one of the darkest moments recorded. The Black Death, a plague so deadly it wiped out nearly half of Europe. The question echoes through time. Could anyone survive the Black Death?